long time ago, this was a place full of light. The lighthouse of the village is like a heart. Its pulsating light dispels the darkness and guides lost souls. But now, darkness swallows everything. Hope is like a candle in the wind, swaying uncertainly. Who I am? I am just a puppy walking in the dark, but I believe that the world needs a ray of light, and this light may be ignited by me. No one believes that an ordinary puppy can change anything. But if I don't try, who will? If you move forward, you can always find the light. It turns out that true light comes from within. When I face my own scars and persistence, I learned that this is the power to ignite the future. Light is not innate. It comes from every persistence and getting up again after every fall. I was not born a hero, but I chose to be a bearer of light.
Mini, you showed us the power of faith.
The light of the lighthouse not only illuminates the village, but also ignites our hearts.
We are willing to protect this light with you.
Your persistence tells us that as long as there is light in our hearts, nothing is impossible.
The light attracted more travelers. Together, we use our actions to protect this land and make every corner feel hope. Today's light is just the beginning. In the future, we will go further and let light illuminate more of the world. I am Mini, an ordinary puppy, but I am willing to be the light that guides people in the darkness to find hope.
MiniDoge operates under the MiniLife Foundation, and our vision is to turn the coin of blockchain into a true cultural asset. In other words, MiniDoge is not just a line of code, it's a living digital symbol, filled with story, creativity, and imagination. In the future, we plan to extend MiniDoge beyond the digital world. Like Hotmart in China, we're developing MiniDoge characters, collectible figure, and artist collaboration. And this IP from the blockchain into the physical world. Something people can see, hold, and truly love. The MiniDoge isn't about culture. We have a clear, ambitious, technological roadmap. As an innovative blockchain project combining culture and technology, MiniDoge is a Tri-4 Web3 ecosystem powered by DeFi, DePIN, and AI legislation. DeFi provides efficient capital flow and incentive mechanisms. DePIN connects blockchain with real-world infrastructure. And the AI acts as the intelligent engine, allowing the entire system to learn, optimize, and evolve. Soon we'll be launching our Web3 smartphone, not only a gateway that connects Web2 users to decentralized world, but also the foundational mobile node for our DePIN network. It's how MiniDoge bridges technology with everyday life, turning phones into active, decentralized devices that empower the next billion Web3 users. Our goal is to lead the transformation of meme projects into an era of structured value. While the meme market remains full of excitement, it's also clear that celebrity-driven models are not sustainable. MiniDoge entered this new era of product innovation and real asset support and ecosystem collaboration, turning meme energy from a passing wave into a long-term force of value creation. From Dubai, Malaysia, Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, and San Francisco today, MiniDoge is a step-by-step building a global, open, creative ecosystem. And this is just the beginning. Soon we'll appear in New York TechCrunch and partner with leading universities in the US and UK, sharing our vision with how culture, technology, and community evolve together. MiniDoge starts with fun, grows through technology, and expands through culture. It's not just a meme. It's a bridge between real assets, decentralized technology, and the next generation of global youth. Thank you.
Go through
panel. If there's some time, we'll find the question. But then, Sanjeev, you got some follow-up or comment on that?
So this was quite interesting because to see RWAs, why you didn't actually scale, because there are two more pieces to it, right? One is highly regulated and compliance. And the second is the distribution. You can put as many as RWAs on chain, but who would actually buy them on a buy side, right? So, and of course, as I was talking about the regulation and compliance. So what we built is, I think, we have our own standard, 7518, which is actually built on ERC20. So what it does is simply, if you're putting any securities in US, it only recognizes SECs like D506C, like D506B, Reg S, Reg CF, Reg A++, all of these exemptions. If you are putting something in Germany, it's BaFin. If you are putting something in, say, Singapore, it's MAS. If you're putting something in, say, Dubai is WADA, Abu Dhabi is ALG. So we put almost 22 jurisdictions on chain, and there are rule sets are already there. So you just have to select the rules, the regulations, which is applicable in that particular jurisdiction for where you want to issue the securities. So that's actually make it very easy because the issuers can actually push the assets in a more regulated and a compliant manner. And once you do that, then of course you have a buy side to distribute the assets to multiple buy side networks.
Yeah. No, again, I think the topic right here is like it's hard to do a one box fits all type of model. And then since you were commenting on this, indeed, like my question to you, that is like, where do you think both RWA had it them, right? Is the legal, the structure, the onboarding, KYC, custody? Where do you think?
Yeah, I mean, see, this is our 9th year in this space. So we've been seeing a lot of projects have come, stalled, or probably have done better. But today's, the last 1 year, we've been seeing the regulators are more, kind of enablers than the blockers. So there's a 180-degree change. So from US perspective, we see a lot of private capital markets, money market funds are moving really fast. These are certain asset classes are really doing phenomenal, distribution on buy sides. But what we've seen is that you need to have multiple buy side networks. So what does that mean? Like family offices, pension funds, endowment funds, sovereign funds, broker dealer networks, IRAs. All of these would like to invest in real world assets. But where is the venue? There are multiple different silos venues actually out there. So what we have done is we created some kind of a connector which connects you from the sales side to a multiple buy side networks. And that's actually where you actually have seen the distribution. And one of the biggest problem in RWA is the distribution because we haven't seen distribution on chain. There are a lot of projects have actually kind of issued on chain. The tokens are sitting on chain. It's not distributed to a primary issuance or the secondary issuance as well. So that's the major problem in RWA today.
And if I could lean in on that, Sanjeev's literally creating the answers to our problems. So these companies come to us, whether it's solar panels, whether it's tokenizing credit, whether it's a construction fund. Okay, like Sanjeev said, we can tokenize everything. You can tokenize this chair. But if you don't have anybody on the buyer side, what's the point of tokenizing 1,000 shares? So it's going to be really easy for us to take our clients and, we work with Sanjeev already. And now he has this distribution side that literally was missing from Pokemon cards to collateral settlements. There's nothing, that even with these $100 million funds from Web2, they thought they could just come to Web3 and all of you are lined up. Yep, I'll take a piece. And that's not how it works. So he's literally creating the answer to the problem that we've had at Orbital Beam for a year is, we can bring you to the tokenizer, but you need a buyer also for whatever you're tokenizing.
That's a really good point, Scott. I don't know about you all. If you haven't seen it, the photographer has some amazing pair of shoes. I want to figure out how to get access to that. Right? But it's going to you, Scott. Like, that's one of the things. It's about trust, right? Like Orbital Beam, right? You've built your high trust network. And why does trust matter more than technology and what's bringing all these RWAs and real world infrastructure on chain?
Yeah, Sanjeev already spoke on a lot of things is access asymmetry, meaning, again, a company can come from X country, but they want to do work in the U.S. How can I do anything with you unless we have government compliance and a partner like the Digital Chamber, Stanford Crypto, on that side who handles that business, and that's all they do. So, an example, somebody wants to ship one right here. They tokenize walnuts. Okay, that's cool, but let's get everything on the government compliance side taken care of first bringing them to the digital chamber, bringing them to these Stanford crypto events. That way there is no gray area, because what are we doing all this lobbying on a state and federal level if we're still going to have gray area? So we build it on trust and compliance and connection, but the trust always comes first.
And we're getting to you now, Jonathan, about compliance, right? And then the compliance. If it's done right, then once become traditional markets, and how do you make it?
20 years, my major learned from the traditional finance. This is our office or company based in Manhattan, New York. We bring companies to IPO, merge acquisition in New York stock market. But when I started the launching Web3 year, I found something quite different. I'm not so optimistic about the future of RWA. For some reasons. First of all, I have a question. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you here ever bought any RWA from blockchain or stock market? Any one of you? So you bought real RWA, right? Okay, how many people? Very few, right? That's the problem. Okay, also, we try to bring, last year, SEC, okay, the NASDAQ tried to apply for tokenization of all these stock shares in the from the SEC. Approval is not there yet. I mean, I'm not saying RW is bad. RW is a really good concept, but it has to be highly regulated. Legal compliance is a big job. So after the Genius Act last year, RW has become a talk of the town. Every year, all over the world, Hong Kong, Singapore, the US. But now, the problem is how many projects are real value. They go through the auditing process. It goes all the same way as the company get listed in the stock market. Okay, also, another problem is how many people are really buying RWA. Okay, so that's why, because of this, we developed something that called AU. It's called AU. AU is the chemical symbol for God. So we have to create a liquidation. We create a value, so people can buy it. People can get benefit for it. Community with the community, we have to create some situation for the payment gateway. So the main solution you find out is the payment. The big idea, very beautiful idea about RWA or blockchain is that to solve the problem of real world and the payment. Without the payment, the traditional payment has been a very large process, cost very much. Now it's when blockchain is here, everything will be simple, very effective, efficient, and cheaper. So if we find the right direction, is going through the final solution for payment, or any other things. Even if the Costco or whatever big supermarket, if they got paid their payment from the way of tokens or RWAs, which is backed by some real asset behind it, that will be real valuable. That's the real feature of RWA. So I would call today's RWA, I would call it TDA, true data asset. So data has value. So if I could rename it, I would call it TWA rather than RWA.
That's a really good transition, especially next we talk about finance, right? So
I agree with what Jonathan says. So I want to add something. Two things make any assets succeed in tokenized world. One is high liquidity, anything can buy and sell easily. Two is the clear regulation. That's very important. That's why stocks and bonds, they will be tokenized first because they already have all the qualities and features in the traditional finance. Yeah.
They've already announced, I think, either NASDAQ or NYSE.
NYSE, yeah. They're pushing tokenized stocks.
24-hour trading.
Right.
How do you think that could become a reality? Is that good or bad?
I think that's very good. Sorry. Yeah. So for stocks, the U.S. stock market has a very high barriers. Like they verify your identity, they verify your assets. You're not American citizen, how you buy stock in the U.S. That create a barrier for the entrance for other countries. So once it's tokenized on chain, any person coming anywhere can buy the US tokenized stuff. Yeah, which is real time one-on-one on chain.
And I mean, in real quick, that can even go for not just traditional RWA, but it could be for any kind of infrastructure investment, right? So it could be a building, it could be solar panel, like what she said, if there's not this liquidity and this compliance, then what are we really doing?
For the funds, we can't do that with funds. Yeah.
Nice to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jonathan, you said how many people have actually bought RWA, right?
So far.
So, yeah, let me explain you some numbers there. Why people have not bought RWAs is because $39 billion of RWAs have been minted on chain just today. Okay, out of that, $19.1 billion are actually probably think about just private capital markets, U.S. Treasury, and commodity. These are not actually readily available for retail at all. Why? Because we see the infrastructure was not there, the regulation was not there. Now, because people have been especially about enterprises are now pushing it, and most of these, like say pension funds, endowment funds are actually now trying to get all of their portfolios on chain. It'll probably be available. So Biddle for that matter, right? Biddle performance is quite good. They've distributed almost close to $160 million of only dividends so far. And it's around $5.1 billion is actually the market share today for Biddle. So I think it's just a matter of time that we could probably see that adoption will go significantly high.
And real quick, I love the RWA chain because Sanjeev, we talked about this. In crypto, if you go on crypto's Twitter or LinkedIn and you say RWA, someone might think it's a Charizard tokenized Pokemon, and then another person's going to think it's a collateral settlement or something from the TradFi world. That's too big of an umbrella and that's why. But then I also don't agree with more acronyms like what happened with DePIN, DeSci, DPAI. Like that gets more confusing too. But I agree, there has to be like another line in the sand to kind of like, yeah, they're all real world assets, but is it an application? Is it solar? Is it Pokemon art? Not just all of this is RWA.
Even RWA in this world, the blockchain is quite optimistic about the future of RWA. I mean for blockchain. But for RWA, whatever it is, we still have a problem. You can see, because a legal expert or whatever, we have to be very watchful, see what SEC is. But today we can see the Genius Act is there, but implementation is RWA a real world asset? Is the security or commodity? So there's a still argument between SEC and the CFTC. So how do they define? So we see the Congress are arguing about the people, the bank, traditional bank are arguing about, and the modern technology, blockchain and all this world is trying to argue. Who will win?
Yeah, but ultimately these are very specific asset class you're talking about, right? I mean, I'm completely aware of the asset classes, but there are certain asset classes that are really moving good on RWAs, right? Look at money market funds, US Treasuries, they're doing phenomenally great. So I believe the regulation is there for that particular asset class, which is already from far and regulated and actually distributed on chain on the buy side.
We're going to take this home now to the final question, which each one of you will be able to ask, which relates to everything we've been talking about. 2026 and beyond. What is your one prediction for this year, or what do you want to see reality, and what we see are the upcoming potential for future development of RWAs?
Clarity Act, Stablecoin Act is going to be, moving the adoption to the next level. And RWAs would definitely this year we will see from 2022 till 2025, the growth is around 700% odd, right? The founded growth I'm talking about in RWAs. It was 5 billion in 2022, now it's 36 billion. I see it should go to at least 150 billion by Q3 or Q4 of this year.
What are some of those projects involved?
US Treasuries would definitely be there. I would say private equity is coming up pretty well. Private equity, private commodities. Commodities are actually doing pretty good on chains as well.
If you want to learn more, Sanjeev is here. All right. Mia, how about yourself?
I think by 2026, the tokenized government bonds and the short-term treasuries is definitely going history in the DeFi world. Yeah, major institutions are investing in those areas. So they're the big players because of they're safe, produce yields, and also it works on blockchain. Yeah, so they're the perfect first step for big banks and institutional funds to enter the crypto space. So regulators are more comfortable with these assets. Yeah, so I definitely think that they will catch on fast. So what's gonna start? I think it will be like fractionalized real estate. Yeah, because of the not too liquid, not that much liquidity. Yeah, especially for retail investors, not sophisticated investors. So as StockFi, we're starting with stocks because they are really easy to trade, clearly regulated, and the pay dividend. So this is what the mainstream market they understand and trust the most is this type of asset. Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge I think is still the compliance side. Yeah.
And Scott, yourself?
I'll go on the physical side. Tokenized robotic labor arbitrage. So you're seeing you're seeing what Figure's doing. The Figure robots, they're already working in BMW 9 to 12 hours a day for I think it's been like 180 days straight. I don't want the same companies owning everything. Whether it's the coffee machine from Singapore, the orange juice machines there, Santa Clara Super Bowl, the tokenized the robotic arms that serve coffee. Why don't we crowdsource these either robots or fleets, and we all own them, check our dashboard every day, and see what we earn from that token ownership?
Love that idea. So how do we make it real?
There's already a lot. There's machine DAOs already going. There's we were just talking about earlier, Ex Machina. They're already tokenizing vertical farms. So basically, the DAO goes, hey, we have A, B, and C, a robot fleet that folds cows at Hyatt, or do you want to do vertical farms in Abu Dhabi? The DAO votes. They order the 3 vertical farms, and again, whatever you own on the toasted side is what you get back when they start picking the tomatoes or whatever the vertical farm is doing to make money.
California got some good bees, so maybe you can...
Yeah. We got the guys in here, tokenizing walnuts.
Yeah, exactly. No, thanks for that input.
Wow.
And Jonathan, yourself?
Well, as I said, we have to find more application. I'm optimistic about the future, especially in 2026. But the law, everything is in place. And if we combine more traditional finance, more traditional stock market, together with the application of the blockchain, or I would rather, again, call it DTA. Because as a DTA, it has much more application. So it's more, the design value is more exact for our value. So I think 2026 is a bright year for blockchain. Yeah, all the world is coming together for it. That's why I choose to be blockchain lawyer.
Now, we wrap it up, right? How can people stay connected with you? What's the best resource? What's the best thing you direct people to continue learning about your work or getting connected with your business?
So we are Menlo Park based company. We have locally Zoniqx. So you can reach me. The colleague is also here. His name is Rajat. So Rajat, if you want to know more about us, please go to Zoniqx.com or Sanjeev Birari or Rajat Kumar.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. So everybody can visit our website stockfi.net for any questions, so we can discuss after this Emory session. Yes.
Yeah. Our consortium is called Orbital Beam. So if you're tokenizing anything on the physical side, you need those enterprise strategic partners, all the way to government and compliance help, DC or on the local level. Yeah, orbitalbeam.com or my socials all the same. It's Scott Full Music on every single app. DMs are always open.
Except on Telegram?
Oh, yeah, Telegram is like my main app now.
Yeah, that is the main app. Thanks, Scott.
Mine is very open because I have been in workplace for many years. Every profile, my profile can be found in Bloomberg or SEC website, but whatever companies that to be listed in NASDAQ or New York stock market, our profile will be listed there. Just put my name there. Everything I've done, either good or bad, are all there.
I want to thank you for spending your time up and offering such like great wisdom for us. I want to save a little time for the audience. Are there any burning questions for anybody here? I see one right there. Feel free to scream it out.
So, how about we tokenize ownership of the 49ers?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Sanjeev?
So we are already working on one of the basketball league. Not the 49ers, but 49ers similar team. We are already working on it. So we are putting the cap table on chain. The team's cap table on chain.
I would actually buy one piece just so I could put it up
Yeah.
office wall.
There you go.
They're actually, Sanjeev, what soccer team is doing that? Where you don't own the field, but they're tokenizing the field, and if a goal happens on yours,
Isn't it tennis? I thought it was tennis.
oh, they're doing tennis too.
Yeah,
I'd be the same company doing it all. Yeah.
Everybody.
Barcelona. What is it called? Something
I think
like that was in R&D.
Yeah. So a little bit of gamification, RWAs. Who knows?
I saw some notes. Raise your hand on this side. Any other questions? I was right there.
How do you see RWAs playing in the autonomous agentic economy? Part that I think is interesting, like, RWAs have certain aspects of like compliance and stuff around. We got to do KYC, KYB sometimes, but people now, they want to spin up, Claude bots and give their account access to them, and then have them go to town, start trading things. So I'm interested in how do agents use RWAs when typically they're tied to human identities. I'm interested in this kind of aspect.
Another good question, Scott. When you thought.
Well, I'll let Sanjeev go first. It's funny. We just got a Web2 client that has nothing to do with crypto, but that was my onboarding. Like they basically have a trading, a brain agent with a bunch of trading agents, and it's working. It's killing it. But I feel like they can't raise what they want to raise in Web2. But in crypto, if you can show that works, fund it with a wallet or Claude bought it and, to do a specific task and show that works, I think it'll be a pretty big sector. It's not even really like being talked about until this Claude thing came up. So an excellent question, because literally just kind of passed my desk this last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it since a couple of days. So real world asset is the ownership of any real world asset on chain, right? So you can tokenize that. Now, whether it's going to be a bot owning this ownership, how do we measure that? I don't see any compliance for this, because in the real world, if you take that ownership of a bot, which jurisdiction it is, right? I mean, we don't know whether it comes under SEC or, WADA in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, ADGM or whatever it is. I don't know. So that's something which is, it's not possible for it. This is what I feel. I don't know. Well, probably it's going to be a utility. That's a utility coin. Doesn't have any legal ownership from SEC's perspective or ownership perspective. That's what I think. But it's pretty early for us to talk about it. But it's an interesting question.
These are historic times for the crypto community, and Stand With Crypto is leading the way. Stand With Crypto is the largest pro-crypto movement in the world. We are more than 2.1 million organized crypto advocates hungry for change. In 2024, our election hub helped more than 600,000 people prepare to vote and generated more than 715,000 lawmaker contacts. Our Swing State Tour brought together thousands of crypto users, and we held hundreds of grassroots events across the country. And on Election Day, we demonstrated the undeniable strength of our movement, propelling 270 pro-crypto candidates to office, helping to elect the most pro-crypto Congress ever. 2025 will be our best year yet, as we continue to work hand in hand with a newly pro-crypto government. We are the voice of innovation, making history today. We are crypto.
It's my pleasure here to host this panel on Web3. I'll get started by having each of the panelists introduce themselves. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm the founder and CEO of Zoniqx. At Interdiscrete, we're currently building a decentralized borrowers tokenizing the ownership virtual learning models, and we're building a crowdfunding pool to accelerate open source process for these models. And after the open source process, there will be a co-creator ecosystem, just like the creator economy, just like the IP or NFTs, but we'll incorporate some machine learning models of it. It is watermark mechanism to detect the similarity or citation rates of these co-creating models, and then we'll have a accumulations for each step's co-creators for model trainers. And with all of this data on chain, we basically have a democratic dynamic flipchart for all the machine learning models based on users' on-chain behavior for the seek and investment to identify which model was most popular or efficient among all other models. And currently, our product has been available. Just feel free to type intelligence and numberspree.io to test our product out. And we just launched a function, including Plotbot, runs on our platform just earlier today.
Wow.
This is how the current status and update for our product. Thanks.
That's fabulous. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you for being here. Eddie?
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric. I'm the North America CEO of LBank. LBank is a pretty traditional product that you guys must be familiar with. We're a place where people can buy and sell crypto. That's it. Given our age, the platform itself is over 10 years old now. So when we were first invented, the centralized model was the only way. So we are a centralized exchange. As we speak right now, the platform itself has slightly over 20 million users across the world. That being said, we wish we can start servicing you guys soon here in the United States. We don't serve US users yet. Just waiting for clear market rules. So that being said, it doesn't stop us from making more friends in the country. I'm also one of the partners of LBank Labs, the investment arm. We have written checks to support US startups in the past 5 years. And luckily, we were fortunate to work with some of the best founders.
I am the chapter president for the state of California for Stand with Crypto. We currently represent across the nation over 2.7 million voters. In the state of California, in less than a year, we've added over 75,000 voters for a total right now of 347,000 voters that I represent in this state. So what does that mean? That means that I am a part of your voice when it comes to going to DC and speaking to policymakers, and when I'm going to Sacramento or meeting them in their districts to say, hey, your constituents in your district need this from you. They're worried about this. The builders at these universities can foresee things that you cannot in the future. They're building things that will be impactful in 3, 4, and 10 years from now that you need to be concerned about as you are laying down these policies, right? And the input and the feedback is what they need from us, as well as all of these university students. What we announced in December of last year was university chapters for Stand with Crypto across the United States. We currently have about 43 chapters on university campuses, including here at Stanford. And so I'm really happy and proud of that. We now have direct access to students that are these builders, and we're able to send them to DC when the time is right, or to their state capitals to talk to their representatives so they could hear it right from these future builders and change makers that we need so desperately. And outside of that, I am a founder. I am an entrepreneur since I was 17 years old. I've had a business and brand and management firm since then, developed multi-million-dollar companies and a lot of things. But really what I focused on, once I learned about blockchain and crypto in 2016, I realized that people were not utilizing it for all of the positive capabilities that it had. How could it really impact and serve better for people? How could the government utilize this technology to help us? And so I developed an EdTech platform. And what that is I partner with leaders of said industries. I obtain their education. I create, I guess it'd be TikTok-like videos, and I deliver that education through blockchain. They get certificates on chain, And they have verified proof of education with partners like Operation Hope, who's the global leader of financial literacy, like mental health provider, like Talkspace, the #1 online mental health provider of services. So I partner with the leaders to deliver and distribute on a scalable way education, access to education in industries based on 4 pillars: mental health, financial literacy, Web3, and innovative career paths. So that way people can be more prepared and less afraid of innovation. And this innovation is taking over in every industry, right? And one thing that I found out over the years of building up Learnville, my edtech platform, is the people that are really being impacted by it are not just the kids, the elders. Because there is no longer job discrimination when nobody knows how old they are, when they're the moderators in your chats. They don't have to know how to type. They can dictate. So they're finding new revenue streams and new career paths that they never knew existed. So I think that's amazing to me, and it makes me so excited for everything that we can do with this technology if we focus on what it can do for good.
Fantastic. No, I love how different perspectives, Web2 as well as centralized AI models. How is this more now important to society?
Yeah, definitely. So, with the centralized intelligence like super learning model, like GPT developing, actually we just found that there, it's really hard for, us from centralized intelligence to approach AGI. So about 2 to 3 years ago, everyone know there was something happened in OpenAI. Everyone is talking about GP5 will launch, and GP5 will approach AGI with better ability. But currently GP 5.2 has been released that we cannot find anything a little bit stuff upgrade from GP4, but not so much. And there is a cell really far from the AGI. And OpenAI is currently not only focused on their models, but also some new functions on their platform. That means that it's really hard, to upgrade the centralized intelligence super large models to make it more possible toward the AGI. So currently, everyone is talking about the AI bubble, and especially in Silicon Valley, we have to admit that the cost is much higher than people's expectation, but the performance is not so good as we expected before. And we believe there are 3 pillars where the centralized intelligence will be. The first will be the economic pillar. So with some challenge. Especially from Asia for the model training, maybe from Alibaba and others, they have the compute power with a price much lower than here in California. Maybe only 1% of here for electricity, and somehow it can just reply to compute power. And also they're really strict data privacy laws and restrictions here in California as well from some compliance issues. So we just train some models. It's really hard to get better performance or efficiency as that maybe in Asia currently. We have to admit that. But there is still something we can do here in California. To lower down the cost. That is some kind of economic barrier. So with some supplying and matchmaking mechanism from the data or compute or the providers, especially from some decentralized suppliers like DePIN, actually it can lower down the price from the supply side, especially for data and compute. And that's how decentralized intelligence will succeed from the economic pillar. And the second pillar will be, the real-time updates. There are really a lot of, data collection or labeling companies, especially, in Silicon Valley, like Scale AI. And there are as well some kind of data depends for collect data decentralizedly. But no matter how they collect their data, both centralized or decentralized, actually they're finally selling their data back to centralized dominance. like OpenAI. So it's really hard, for them to have, real-time updates for their database. No matter how frequent they update their data, maybe once a week, but still cannot approach, real-time updates. But for, collect data decentralizedly, use users on-chain, feedback for post-train data, supply it back to original creators. We can do something like auto fine-tuning or auto prompt tuning. Especially, use the blockchain as a router to integrate and connect all the machine learning models will be more possible for that, because some models will be niche model and they'll be better to integrate the data by auto fine-tuning or auto prompt tuning. And the third pillar will be, some focus on a niche domain or area. So like AI for science, like prediction market, like AI power trading. So a single learning model cannot, focus on some niche scenarios, but some niche models can. But for every end user, it's really hard to select which niche model is most, with better performance for their question or the use cases. But blockchain will be a better router to route which model will be most convenient for them and with better performance for end user for this niche questions. And also with users on-chain behavior for the usage, actually we can just shift the this kind of benchmark called the selection or the preference for this router, where centralized intelligence cannot do that. They can just focus on some rec stuff or some context from the model type of use cases. But for decentralized intelligence, there will be a way, for from the users on-chain behavior to determine which model they would like to select. So that'll be the total three pillar for us that only decentralized intelligence can overcome and to finally fight against AI bubble and for human being to earlier approach AGI.
I really appreciate that comprehensive answer there, basically tying in how the impact of decentralized intelligence with AGI was really eye-opening there. Let's actually take action as prohibitive for their business. Having operated in regulatory areas, tell us, do you see that as a blocker or a competitive advantage?
Sure. So, it's always a bit sensitive to talk about this in public, but let me give it a try. So the question is, how do we see regulations in crypto? Listen to me carefully in the next minute or so. Okay. So I recently made an investment into this startup. Their business model is actually very simple, but to our surprise, no one did it the same way as they did. They are called, if you take out your cell phone, open your web browser now.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to give you guys this gift right now.
I'm recording it.
Okay, cool.
All right. What am I doing?
So let's type in www.fastcryptotax.com. Fast, F-A-S-T, crypto, tax, T-A-X. Now, we all know that there are two things that you cannot avoid here in the United States. One is, unfortunately, death. The other one is pay your tax. Do your civilian duty, right? If you don't do so, and you hold crypto, our hypothesis is one day, some people called the IRS might come to audit you until you actually comply. So, why don't you do this early? Why don't you do it in a prepared way? Why don't you do it while we have a very crypto-friendly and tolerant administration? So, this startup, Fast Crypto Tax, they built a very handy tool. So, for the ones who want to comply to rules, there you go. Yeah, this is the website. Super intuitive, right? So, even for the crypto holders who actually have crypto, who actually want to pay tax, want to fulfill their civilian duty, right? Half of them use centralized exchanges like Robinhood, like Coinbase, but at least half of them, at least 25 million Americans, use wallets Now, a wallet is just a piece of program. It will not issue you a 1099. Never. Even if you ask them, they wouldn't give it to you. They're going to say, okay, sorry, we are on calculation. And if you want to go to your tax accountant or TurboTax, they're going to ask you one simple question. What is crypto? There's no way for them to learn how to reconcile all your crypto transactions. Now, Fast Crypto Tax solve this missing piece of puzzle. For just $20 or so, it can convert from your wallet address to tax forms that are TurboTax or CTA ready. And right now, the gift that I'm giving everyone is, if you register an account today, there's a free account for all of you. So it could be free.
Is that when I can use the pro one?
Well, that's a very good question. Not the pro one, but what the team is planning to do, spoiler alert, is this coming weekend, they gonna upgrade your account that you register tonight. So if you got a free account tonight, they're gonna upgrade it to a basic plan. It is worth $20. And if you get a basic plan tonight, they got to upgrade it to the pro plan, which is basically $65. And wow, if you guys do trade a lot, and you buy a pro plan, they're gonna upgrade it to an expert plan, which is worth about $150
a year.
Yeah, correct. They're basically a SaaS software.
Yeah, wonderful.
And
That's amazing.
And for our market study, the reason why I invested in this startup is because when our people did market research by calling CPAs in the marketplace, 3 to 4 out of 10 are interested in the specific UI UX, the specific solution. It makes their job way easier. And it saves them literally at least $300 per client. So it's like a no-brainer. The trick of their approach is they are thinking from the end game forward. They are not looking into this marketplace and all of a sudden say, okay, you know what, we're going to build this tax tool. They think about, okay, compliance will happen. Sooner or later, it will happen, for sure. And Uncle Sam definitely will like you to pay your tax. No matter which party is CEO. Now, there isn't a good enough solution yet. There are other competitors that we compared, but no one is as user-friendly as these guys. And no one offers the same pricing as these guys yet. So that's the reason why I wrote a check to this startup. Now, for the entrepreneurs in this room, if you have a similar idea that you guys solve a problem that either already exists or will be obvious in the near future, feel free to find me after this panel discussion, and we can definitely talk shop. So that's how you can turn compliance into your competitive advantage. A live example: a team just got a check. Sure.
Nice. And I would say it's not even just into Web3, right? You can look at any Web2 company today that has taken that step to go above and beyond what the current government requirements are, and they've far exceeded the other companies. I believe Volvo, is a car company, but whatever the requirements are to meet the safety standards, they've always gone above and beyond, and they've been ahead years since whenever they say, hey, you need to add this to your safety goals, then it already. And so they are one of the safest vehicles that exists. So it is something that has proven the test of time that in any industry that you're in, if you are ahead of the wave, you have that upper edge.
So, thank you for that, Gary. And Isaac, you mentioned. So, Gary, you talked about how your organization is representing all the crypto orders in Washington, D.C. I have a question on that. What are some misconceptions that policymakers had about crypto, and do you see anything changing that?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it has changed a lot to the end Q4 of 2025. One of the biggest things that we've had to combat is people, policymakers, viewing us, people who are pro-crypto, as Trump supporters. So they equated a lot of policymakers on a certain side believe that if you are pro-crypto, you are just pro. And so it's been a battle to kind of just say, hey, crypto is actually a people greater opportunity to be a part of how these laws are being written, right? And so if we don't participate in it, these laws are going to be written with mistakes in them, and we're going to have bigger issues along the way. These people don't know this technology. You know what they are doing is they're having people like StockFi, myself, Eric, coming to DC and talking about the problems that they're going to face and they're learning. So I will say this, in Q3, these staff members and policymakers knew more than I'd ever heard them before. Talk about, they had clear understanding. They still need help, right? But they're getting help from all of us being there to talk to them. Now, at the same time, at the end of Q3, guess what the big banks did? The big banks started a nonprofit. Why? They started a nonprofit because what was passed from the Genius Act? Crypto rewards. What are they not liking? Crypto rewards. What do they say? We get too much in rewards. It's too competitive for the banks. We shouldn't have that anymore, even though we just passed it, right? So that's a big reason why we need you to sign up. And you can send an email to your policymaker and say, I want my crypto rewards. It doesn't happen alone, right? These banks have been the institutions that have been pushing, handling all of the money and finance, and all of a sudden we have this innovative financial tool that empowers us to have a say-so. This requires the old legacy banks to make some changes. And those changes should be benefiting us, right? And so it only happens, again, like your voice to be heard. And if you say you're like, I don't want to put my email address in there, fine. Use the website. You can go to our website and you can put in your address and it'll show you who your representatives are and you just email them direct and then it'll take you about 30 seconds.
Wow. No, I love it. I love how tangible that it's coming here, the sign up on how we can benefit from crypto today. So we talked a little bit about all the AGI, we talked about valuation, we talked about policy. Let's use the next round to talk about use cases. Let's start with ELA, who wrote State of Fine Explain, right? And so...
Wait, that book though is what? Isn't it the first?
Yeah, right. So I have the fortune to write this book called Stablecoin Explain. It is one of the bestsellers in Asia, and it is the first book explaining stablecoin in January in history. So,
let's give a big round of applause. Fantastic. So my question is, covering the two species, right? What do you see as the succeed? Do you see the succeed one that we continue, and what are the methods with that?
That's definitely a very good question, and did you again the honor to answer this question here on campus. Because 2 years ago, back in 2024, I was on Stanford campus discussing stablecoin. There's a Stanford professor, Professor Devonay. There was a question bothering the whole crypto industry for over a decade. That is so simple, so powerful. People ask, okay, you guys have made so much of people rich. Now tell us, what is the true values that you guys are contributing to the society? What actual benefits have you brought to the marketplace? Do you have a killer app? Now, fortunately, back in 2024, both of us finally have a clear answer for that. That is stablecoin. Now, when we think about the use cases for stablecoin, what applications are here to stay versus what applications might eventually, die down. From what we learned here in the States and internationally, it is unlikely that our audience here are gonna feel the impact first, because the alternatives are so great outside. Here in the United States, people have credit card, People have Memo. People have many ways to do their transactions, get their settlements. It is not, so stablecoin isn't good enough to be, say, 10 times better than the existing solutions. However, the other countries are already seeing the benefit as we speak now. So there are two major use cases. If you travel around the world, you will quickly realize. One is cross-border transactions. Now, try to visit a JP Morgan Chase branch in your district and try to send some money to, let's say, Hong Kong or Dubai or South America. We're gonna only charge you $25. If you do it at the counter, we're gonna charge you $35. Just for wire transaction, even if you transfer 1 cent. Right?
How long does it take?
Usually 2 to 3 business days. And the sometimes if you unfortunately hit the weekend and holidays in the United States plus holidays overseas, they can be as long as a week. Now, for a lot of other countries who don't have a very stable price system, like Argentina, like Turkey, that is too big of a risk. Versus if you use stablecoin on Solana, it takes right now 400 milliseconds, and it takes less than 1 sec to finish a transaction. People, especially international businesses, are seeing real use cases as we see now. It saves people a lot of money. It reduces the uncertainty. It helps international trade happen. Now, this is first use case. The second use case, which is also beneficial for everyone here in the room, even though we might not feel it, but it greatly helps to expand the US dollar node people economy. Let's say if you chat with someone in Argentina or Turkey, you will quickly realize that the local currency in their own country is having, significant inflation. I visited Turkey earlier this year, in January, and the inflation they are seeing can easily exceed 40% for years. So imagine if you have some lifetime savings in your bank account, and at the year end, all of a sudden you realize that 40% of it is gone. That's not a risk that people can take, right? So a lot of them turn to US dollar stablecoin, not to trade, not to payment, but just to their saving for the amount, so they can still pay their kids, have patience. They can still afford transportation. They can buy a cup of coffee with confidence in their mind that they can still do those things. So this is something that is usually beneficial. It's beneficial for people in Turkey. It is beneficial for actually us here because silently but powerfully, US dollar denoted system extends to purpose. So those are some very couple use cases for stablecoin that is happening now, and those benefits are here to stay. There will be some remote benefits. For example, the stablecoin is programmable. So it's a technical example, a potential product, like building Lego, something with a Lego block. But will that happen very soon in the United States? Has careful it. Because big banks, they develop their own not-profit organizations to stop us from even getting, some benefit for holding stablecoin. So you can foresee that there will be some difficulties advancing in the very near term. Will that happen in the long term? Probably, because at the end of the day, it's about who's more efficient, who brings more benefits to consume, who's more transparent, right? But I don't know if that's gonna happen very soon, so I don't know impact of our daily lives in the near future.
Yeah, no, great. Really appreciate that. Actually, Rari, I'd like you to continue on the same thread of this, right? Yeah, Eric talked about financial side of your tools. Are there other use cases that you're using or daily basis, but what even are they actually
For blockchain, yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are issuing tickets to concerts, or any type of event now. Like, can't transfer it, it changes. It's in your wallet. Gyms now, obviously more advanced gyms are issuing their gym membership on chain, and so you have it, and in order for you to, you can't just screenshot it and send it to your friend and they go into your gym, you know what I mean? I have to send it to their wallet and it becomes their membership. There are some innovative hotels in other countries where your hotel key is on your phone and you have your wallet. So you can't go out drinking at a bar and some guy picks up your hotel key and get in your room, right? So that doesn't exist. There are today and more innovative countries that have progressed in this area because we've kind of been pushed back, right? Like we've been held back from innovation for so many years from the previous administration that we are just now coming out of the box, right? And this is why we need some type of regulation, and we want something that's healthy so we can catch up to some of these places that you're like, wait, how did they get so far ahead of us? I thought the U.S. is leading everything. We're not one of us situation. And so now we are looking at other countries that are utilizing it. Even Estonia, I mean, they're giving homeless people and people that are on government benefits their benefits on blockchain crypto in their digital wallets. Why don't we have that? Right? The U.S. is talking about there's so much fraud from people that don't really deserve government benefits. Well, this is a way to, let's do that. I think there is behind the scenes, off the record, some concern about the safe transparent. Some may not want that. And that's something else to talk about on a different day.
Or a few things.
On a different day. It sounds great to the people that are really for it. I think that there are so many ways that we haven't even touched on that blockchain and crypto can really benefit people in a far greater way than we'd ever imagined. The doors haven't been open for us to pay stake to you it. And that's a part of why the Clarity Act is so important. And the Genius Act is so important. So that people that have creative ideas are not a party that after they start their business in 6 months, the government's going to come after them and say, shut your shit down. Because you don't qualify for this. You needed to apply for this. And that goes against what the SEC is saying. Instead, it will say, you want safe harboring period. You have a couple of years. And if you haven't made over X amount of dollars, then you won't have to worry about us coming out. Now you're giving us something safe to say, oh, I can build, I can be creative. And if you know of an entrepreneur, you know how that business changes on a regular basis. The Web2 business, right? The Web2 business, you create your business plan, you go out there, you start your business, and you run into problems, and then you shift a little bit of your business plan, or you shift it again. You have to adjust. Imagine that for Web3. Innovation changes every second. Which you went to bed knowing today somebody in another country solved a different way. You woke up and it changed. So that's how much we're changing in Web3 entities that we're trying to build.
Agree? No, thank you for that. So Fernando, before we open to questions, one question for you. So looking ahead, like 3 years from on, right, say 2028 or so, what would have to be true for us to say that Web3 is like practically?
Our thing since the last years, just the administration. So there we, new points that, so I put this real usage or adoption, with a real quality. So that makes the private market, for they're not so much different with the Supreme Court or just projects who is figure never hit, but they have never used their products. So but 3 years later, with the current bear market, continue with the AI bubble, finally happen in exploded. Maybe at the end of this year after the election, as the IPO, like in the or Anthropic, there is no capital who do protect the current bubble of AI and also Web3. So all the technical is set to follow the main wave of Web2 side, because for institution called capital has been joining the Web3 space, and I believe the trend will be a bit similar before. So maybe 3 years later, after this kind of business and with some story of the Web3 ecosystem and also the do more stuff to more product to deliver with really healthy and also really can compete with Web2 products. So just like this right C curtains, so the only criteria to judge how the 3 years later the Web3 industry will be is the real performance. For certain kind of decentralized curtains projects that be the performance of the generated content, and for some kind of like some currency or the criteria help us to deliver and complete the whole transaction. And for other stuff like some compliance or other course, the criteria will be the user experiences and interface be better than others and as good as some Web2 tools. So the performance will be the only criteria I believe in the 3 years later. Instead of now some kind of narratives or some kind of public positions or full stuff say as top of among all the criteria, but 3 years later all the criteria and how we can benchmark the project, no matter about 3 or Web2, but basically or tokenized projects who focus on the really and the real performance compared to other projects, no matter Web3 or Web2.
Do you want to add anything to that? No, it's for okay. Any questions from the audience? Yes.
So I have a question. It's a very so it was very interesting to hear about the conversation on blockchains and Web3. I'm not so much of an experience in terms of blockchain, but I'm more experienced was the AI. And what I feel like we have two separate different waves going parallel, having love and hate relationship, right? So my specialties are more on the retail industries. I have more than 35 years of experience. So my questions to you guys, right? So as we see in terms of when we talk about AGI, right? So when we are going towards AGI, to me, anything what can happen without my own intervention and everything can be automatic. So specifically in terms of fintech, right? So payment industries, when you try to compare between the kind of the payment through centralized versus decentralized, how do you feel in next 5 years? I feel kind of the decentralized payments has more upper hands, but I also wanted to listen from you guys because this is more specifically in terms of the AGI payments, right, for the retail industries. How do you feel now the decentralized will play a vital role, or any other thoughts you want to add?
Who wants to take that?
Maybe I. Yeah. Especially for the payments, I believe especially in the United States, there will not be a transition ecosystem just like Europe or China. They have some kind of tax mechanism. If you create a workflow for different agents or models, for the added value, they only tax the added value. But in the US, they tax for the whole sales amount. So I believe that that's a reason for some kind of decentralized payment like X202 is initiated in the United States because currently for some taxation mechanism or policies or laws in the United States are actually avoid the more flexible and more liberty to the agent to agent payments, especially within the workflow. And also, if you would like to be a co-creator or just a creator for any kind of AI platform like agents or like models, even everyone knows GPS, and it just launched later in 2023, and at that time, them just present, everyone like be the co-creator, create a GP asset, list them on a GP store. They will have some revenue sharing from the co-created agents. But finally, people just voluntarily, just share their agents there, just can get some, public awareness, get some influence, but not at the kind of, incentives to just stock or like cash or other kind of stuff. Even some creators don't have that. So that'd be, just what Ari said before, maybe if the OpenAI would like to issue this kind of rewards to them, maybe they're going to give them 99 at the same time. So for some kind of end user who would like to be the co-creators, maybe they just, create some stuff for code, but they also have an expectation to, to make some money. Maybe not make money, it's just a considerable reward for their, work. And they're not only, the specific tax amount or tax rate, but the whole administrative stuff cannot be done centralized today. And it just limits, innovation and creativity for all of the corporate agents and the whole AI industry. Not everyone and not, not only coding or training a model originally can, improve the productivity, but also, just favorite workflow or fine tuning some models or, just maybe 50 apps also can improve the productivity for the whole community. And we should award the co-creators who do this kind of contributions. But for legal policy and power, Web2 economy in the US, it's really hard. It's not only concerning about the amount of taxes or other stuff. It's concerning more about administrative issues like the compliance, like tax floors and others. So, but with actual to and other kind of this centralized payment method, there will be a bridge like the centralized exchange, like a Coinbase, maybe Outback US in future, to start as beginning point and also the end point for co-creators or the consumers to to purchase their credit directly from legal currency to cryptocurrency and all the agent to agent or model to model payment be done on chain. And then for the creators who would like to earn more money, they can just
if you don't have Quantum by 2020, because I don't think crypto is ready actually for the quantum computing. So what you say is that you would not have quantum, but it continues to be there in 30 forecast. But I wonder what's the happen. The area is what is. If you want to get the voice actor, it's just there. Yeah.
Sure, I can take that.
And they might then become quantum people as well, right? Right. Especially crucial.
So the question is, with the advancement of quantum computing, will it be a real threat to crypto one day? I guess it's a matter of one, not a yeah, right?
Correct.
So with our current technology and hardware, it is really hard to decipher Bitcoin wallet private keys. People say that it's gonna take like 2 or 3 trillion years for you to do so, and good luck with that, right? But quantum computing, enough to saying maybe it's gonna significantly drop to a combo number of years. So therefore, will quantum computing be a true threat to Bitcoin? Now, my answer is probably more boring, but more realistic.